My name is Gary Potter. I live in Monrovia, California, up kind of on the side of the mountain. It's pretty wildernessy around here. We have bears and mountain lions and all kinds of silly things come wandering through. And it's pretty rural up here. Yet in 5 minutes I can be on the 210 freeway in downtown.
So Gary texted me pretty late at night, and he sent a couple of photos of this cougar on his lawn and said that something seemed a little off about her.
I walked out here and just walked around the corner here and was not paying attention to what I was doing. And I got to about here and went to go around the corner, and I looked up and the cat was stretched out right here in the grass just staring at me. And I went, hello. And I just kind of slowly backed myself up and back into the house, and immediately had to figure out where I left my phone and camera. But at first I just took some pictures assuming it was going to get up and leave, but then she didn't leave. I mean, she just licked and licked and licked her feet. I kind of assumed something was wrong here.
I let him know that he should keep an eye on things. If she was still there in the morning, probably something was wrong and we needed to call somebody out.
I don't know, it must have been like 1 o'clock or something. It kind of curled up in a little ball, and I'd had it. So I went to bed and opened the doors and stuff so I could hear, and probably about a half hour later I heard this scream, and I jumped up and ran into the other room, and the cat was standing there like in the same, it hadn't moved, but it was on all fours, and it just looked like it was afraid to move. You know, like the blood had all run back to its feet or something, you know, from laying down there or something, and it was in extremely pain. And it slowly walked away, and I didn't see it anymore.
I received a report from Joanna at night with the pictures that Gary Potter had sent over that showed that there was definitely a mountain lion in his backyard, and he had suspected that the lion was likely injured due to the bobcat fire. But from afar, it's hard to assess those types of injuries, especially from a pixelated image.
In the morning when I checked in with him, he said that she had moved off the lawn, but he saw her on security camera. She was moving really tenderly on her feet. So I called Karina because I knew we needed to get something rolling to help this animal.
Once we decided that we were going to go and investigate the situation at Gary's house, I contacted the California Department of Fish and Wildlife and let them know where we were at in the situation. Upon getting to Gary's site, we requested that he give us a home walkthrough and let us know where the cougar was the night before as sort of a starting place for our investigation. We were there to assess whether or not there was a mountain lion present and determine the level of threat, if any. Upon walking in the backyard, we actually heard the classic crack of a stick and looked right to our left, and we saw the young lion there. She looked at us. It looked as though she had difficulty moving away from us, but was trying to do so. Once we identified that the cougar was indeed still in Gary's backyard, we moved away, and I made another call to the department and let them know that I verified that there was indeed a mountain lion on site, and it did look as though she was injured. From there was a wildlife biologist from the department and 2 wildlife officers that were dispatched immediately to the resident's property. Once the California Department of Fish and Wildlife came on site, I showed them where the lion was in Gary's backyard, and we came up with a game plan on how we were going to safely chemically immobilize this animal and get her the help that she needed. During the health assessment, it was determined that this young lion definitely needed some treatment, and so she was immediately put into the back of the truck and transferred to a local wildlife veterinarian. The next day, she was transferred to CDFW's Wildlife Investigations Lab in Sacramento. The Wildlife Investigations Lab has some of the best wildlife veterinarians in the state, and so we knew that she was really in the best hands. We were relieved that she was transferred to the Wildlife Investigations Lab because veterinarians there have been treating burned animals for years. They use these really innovative techniques with tilapia skins in order to help the paws heal.
We knew when they drove away that she was going straight to the vet. We knew she was in good hands, but there was still a couple days after that where I'm checking my email and checking my phone. Like, how is she now, you know? And so this morning we got the best news ever, which is that she's eating, her paws are healing well, and they have every reason to think she's going to be able to be back in the wild soon. I've been in California for 20 years now. I know about fires. This has been a horrendous fire season. And then to top it all off, these animals that I've photographed for 10 years and come to love and trying to be an advocate for, and I see one burned in a fire, is just about the worst thing that you could do to me. But then the satisfaction of being able to help her and making connections with all these other people who have the ability to make something like this happen has been fantastic. If Gary hadn't known that the behavior was off or hadn't known who to call or reach out to, what happened to this animal probably wouldn't have been a good outcome.
What was really hopeful about both Gary and the neighbors is that they didn't react to the situation with fear. The neighbors even went home to fetch a bag of ice for the lion to make sure that she didn't overheat in the sun.
So whenever I see an injured animal and I think I can do something with it, it's kind of my obligation. I mean, I don't think as I'm doing anything different. I mean, if it's a dog that's hurt or the neighbor's cat that's hurt, or I would assume I need to help. I mean, who's going to do it if you don't do it?
We hope that communities can think of the Cougar Conservancy as another supplemental resource for them in California. Residents should know that the Cougar Conservancy has a conflict hotline that you can call at any time.
I'm Joanna Turner, and I'm an advisory committee member for Cougar Conservancy.
My name is Karina Domingo, and I'm the founder and director of the Cougar Conservancy.